rescue? I don't really know much about what you do rescue-wise. Like, do you take...
I rescue more dogs who
With
are
problems.
going to be euthanized because they're extremely aggressive.
Extremely aggressive.
And so they're hours away from dying.
Yeah, that's how ours are too, of course. They're hours away from dying because they're
Old.
12 years old or
Yeah.
whatever. You know, one of the things that we face in San Francisco a lot is a lot of the dogs come to us because of separation anxiety. Like, we get them because they have separation anxiety, and we have trouble finding them homes because of separation anxiety. And I was wondering what you think, because we're starting to think about adopting out to homeless people. There's such a really great homeless population in San Francisco. What do you think about?
I think homeless people have, for the most part, well-balanced dogs.
Yeah.
I often use them as an example of what's possible when you have no money and no fame, right? And what we call success. And they have a very successful relationship. And I always teach people about exercise, discipline, affection. You know, walk a dog next to you or behind you. Homeless people do that very well. They walk a lot. The dog is next to them or behind. In LA, 9 out of 10 homeless people own pit bulls, and they walk them off the leash. That's how I teach that it's not the breed, it's the human behind the dog. You know, and so I think the solution that you're bringing is fantastic.
Hard to manage. It's hard to manage, right? Because, you know, I mean, right now there's really no rescue in San Francisco that can successfully adopt to a... I mean, they can, but how do you, like, go through the process of making sure it's an okay home and...
Well, the homeless?
Yeah. Because
the homeless doesn't have a home.
I know they don't. I know, that's what I'm saying. You know, how do we determine if that is what we want to do? You know what I mean? Because I think that it's a good solution to some of the issues that we have, like separation anxiety, is to have somebody.
Well, separation anxiety can be cured.
Yeah.
Yeah, separation anxiety can be rehabilitated. I don't want to say the word cure because most of the time cure comes with medication.
Yeah.
And so I often take dogs away from Prozac because it doesn't solve the problem, it just numbs the problem, right? So the solutions for me is exercise, you know, rules, manners, limitations. Anxiety is because the human doesn't know how to claim his space. A lot of times when people come into their home, they allow the dog to be 24 hours in their space. So they never ask for, okay, I'm going to have 30 minutes by myself. You know, 80% of my clientele is women. So mommy time. You know what I mean?
Is that because you're so cute, or because
no, it's because women
not...
are open to do whatever it takes to save family. And dog is part of the family. It's more open. Men, we are slowly coming to the conclusion that it takes all of us. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that to me is, and they're not, women is also now worry about accepting that they're wrong. And men, it's ego, and then it's pride, and then there's a lot of obstacles that get in the way to say, well, maybe it's me the problem. You know what I mean? So that's why. Yeah. In my opinion. And so separation anxiety, I cured, rehabilitated all the time. Rehabilitated all the time. So it's, there is a solution for people that, you know, they want to help and do whatever it takes to help the dog. But the solution with the homeless is amazing. I mean, I'm from Mexico. In the third world country, you know, it's called, in Mexico it's called third world country. We have a lot of skinny dogs, but they don't have psychological problems. Then America has, you know, nice and chunky dogs, but they have psychological problems. Right? So why is that?
Like the people, actually.
Why is that, right? Because we provide exercise, discipline, and then we give affection. You know, modern society likes to give affection first, even though the dog can be anxious at the moment you're giving affection. So a lot of times when a dog comes into someone's space, the dog comes, oh, you want affection? And then they start rewarding that state of mind. Then the dog, every time he's anxious, he comes to the human so he can get his fix. And so now the human becomes the pill. You know, but the pill, the wrong pill. Not the balanced pill, but the unstable pill. You know, so understanding is key. I mean, education is a must. I mean, even though America is a very intelligent country, I have, you know, clients who are Harvard graduate, but they can't walk a chihuahua.
Yeah.
You see, so that tells you the human can be extremely intelligent. Doesn't mean he knows how to connect with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So common sense is something that I like to focus a lot in this society. And you mentioned, you know, mutts. I created a curriculum with Yale. We created a curriculum called the Muddy Degree program.
Yeah.
And so we ask kids, so we tell kids that the dogs, they don't have to be purebred, they can be mutts. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we call Muddy Degree. And it teaches kids about instincts and emotional intelligence at preschool and kindergarten level. Right? So those kids don't know anything about it. Right? They don't know that a pit bull, you know, a Rottweiler, a German
breed
Shepherd,
or whatever.
Right? They don't have those concepts of it, right? And so making sure that the next generation of American society is being told what instincts are, or how you connect with Mother Nature, and how important is empathy and compassion.
Definitely.
You see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, you know, we'd like to teach the next generation of America about senior dogs and about, you know, the value in adopting senior dogs. You know, they come frequently, you know, if they've been trained properly, they come house trained, they can walk off leash, they can, you know, and a lot of people don't adopt senior dogs. You know why, I don't have to tell you these things. You know, because they say, oh, I only get 2 years with the dog or something like that.
But that's okay. What we need, what we need to bring to their awareness is they're being selfish a little bit, because they don't want to go through the pain, right? I don't want to go through the pain. I'm going to go into the pain in 2 years. I don't want to do that. I want to be selfish. I want to go through the pain in 6 years. You see what I'm saying? So,
I love that.
So we don't like to go through this to the painful experience.
The angst.
You know,
the angst. The pain.
It's pain, but there's a pain that you know, birth, life, and death. You know, everybody loves birth, and then the middle of it, and nobody is okay with that. In Mexico, we have the day of the dead. You know, El Día de los Muertos.
Yeah.
We do it completely different. You know, than some societies. We actually dance. So death can be seen in different ways if you want to. You know, it's a perception of how you see death. And so one thing that we can start influencing society is that death is part of life, but you don't have to see it as a painful experience every single time. Yeah, you got to go through the mourning experience, but you know, you're celebrating life. You know, you help. You help somebody to end, and so those are stars, if you want to call it, on your behalf. You know, you help anybody. It doesn't matter what it is. A cricket. Those are stars on you. You know, and dogs do so much for society, do so much for human. That you know, to help elderly dogs in the last days of their lives, it's a blessing. We don't see it as a blessing. We see it more as pain.
Yeah.
It's a painful thing.
It's been great. Evan and I have been fostering dogs for Muttville for 3 years, and we've been through 28 dogs, and it's changed our lives. I mean, it's just been so valuable too. And I love what you said about being selfish. I think that's right. You know, I mean, we have, you know, I host the adoption events for Muttville, so we stand out on the street corner and try to send these dogs home, and people are attracted to the dogs, and then we say it's 10 years old, and they go, oh, no, I just lost my dog. I just lost my dog.
Yeah, we have to definitely help people to change the perception of suffering. You know, suffering is a bliss. After suffering, bliss comes. And so, you know, rejecting that experience is really not becoming wise. You know, everybody like, okay, I want to be very intelligent, but I don't want to be wise. See, to be wise, you need to go through painful experiences. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
This elderly dogs, it help you to become wise.
Yeah.
You know, which society is not really about wise, it's about being intelligent. You see it? So we're detaching ourselves from the wisdom that dogs can give us. You know, and so it's the perception. But, you know, slowly but surely, humanity will change.
Yeah.
And people like yourself will trigger that. It's a movement, you know, and it takes one person to trigger a ripple effect.
We've been having enormous success at Muttville. I wish the woman who founded Muttville could be here today, but she is a fan of yours, of course, and we've been around since 2007, and we've rescued over 750 dogs. in 3 years, and it's really just, we were just on Oprah a couple weeks ago, and
Nice.
it's really going really well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really going
Doesn't
really
get no
well.
better than that.
Well,
The biggest package in the world. Oprah.
well, it was sort of like it was like one of those things where they were like giving away a car, and they invited Muttville to come, so it wasn't so much like
Oh.
Muttville as an acknowledgement, we
Right.
received. So I wish I could say, but
Oh.
but even so, it was enormous for us to get that degree of exposure and to have the donation of a car. We just sold it, and our vet bills are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's the other thing.
And the more
That's the other thing that people don't want to adopt a senior dog for is the vet bills.
Yeah, and that's where the vets can come up with a certain way of being with elderly dogs who were adopted, a discount.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And we have very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And more people are jumping into that wagon. Where if you don't have the money, some people are willing to pay. I have a foundation, and we help pretty much anybody. And I know more and more people who are creating specific funds just for people who don't have the money to help their dogs.
Yeah.
So that the movement is becoming alive. It's not as strong as a tsunami yet, but it's definitely something that is in the works, because we must connect ourselves back to our humanitarian side. We can't just be humanitarian once a year.
Yeah.
Humanitarian is something we have to do every single day. It's not just about making money, but also saving life.
Yeah.
And that's good karma.
Yeah. Sure is.
Yeah.
What
So-
happened to your finger?
I love to do gardening, so when I was cutting the bougainvilleas, I cut my little finger. Everybody said, did a dog bite you? No,
Yeah.
I don't get bit by dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah. Cool. Where are you staying when you're in San Francisco?
I stay wherever they allow me to stay.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Excuse me.
Could we maybe get a couple of pictures and
Yeah,
the
do you mind
backdrop?
if we have a picture of you and me?